Good morning, everybody. You've reached the Real Estate Fix. I'm your host, Rich Szerman on KHTS, AM 1220, FM 98.1. Off to a good start already. I've got all sorts of fun stuff to talk to you guys about with today's show. It's my anniversary show. It's also my birthday. We're sort of putting those two together, so it's sort of my anniversary show and my birthday show. And if you guys listen to the show regularly, you know when we come around anything fun like that, I like to get a little bit looser because you can't talk about real estate all the time. Well, I can, but I think everyone else would be bored. Everyone else in my life who I talk to real estate to all the time gets bored with me. So going to talk about today is going to be all about real estate, the Iran war, and how it's affecting the real estate economy, and cookies. My good friend Devan Ward is going to be in at DW Cookies. We're going to talk all things cookies, as we like to do on the anniversary show. I think it's a fun thing to do, get away from real estate for a little while and talk about cookies. But one last thing about real estate before we are able to move on with the show and get to the cookie part, and that is let's talk about the war in Iran, because unfortunately, whether we like it or not, the war in Iran is governing everything right now in the world of real estate. Now, let me tell you, I'll set the stage for you. What was going on originally before the war in Iran started is real estate was starting to get better. The interest rate had come down under 6% for the first time in years, finally. There was some sunlight, was starting to thaw some of the frozen listings out. Some of the tundra was starting to thin out a little bit, and business was starting to happen. We had a pretty decent January, and then we decided to start dropping bombs on Iran. And that destabilized everything. Consumer confidence is at the lowest level in this country as it has ever been since they started taking that survey in, I think, 1950s. It's literally the lowest we've ever charted for consumer confidence. That's not helpful. And the interest rate went back up over 6%. And I got a lot of different articles that led to this, and I was putting together a whole draft, and then I found the LA Times came out with something that's really very straightforward on this topic, so I'll just kind of read to you from that. So here's some excerpts from that article, because I think it's a really good one. You should check it out. It's by a guy named Jack Fleming. Anyway, the Iran war shocked LA's housing market. Recovery won't be simple. Mortgage rate increases triggered by the Iran war tensions deepened LA's housing market freeze, rendering more first-time homebuyers unable to afford starter homes. As we've talked about before, the first-time buyer market, because of affordability, which has been true for years, the first-time buyer market has been shelled. You can't have prices this high and interest rates this high and expect the first-time buyer market to be functional. It's just not. I mean, most first-time buyers, the days of your rent is, $3,000 a month or even $4,000 a month, and you being able to go buy a property with an FHA loan, which is 3.5% down, or a VA loan, which is no money down, and still get that same $3,000 to $4,000 a month in a mortgage payment, or at least for the moment, over. And that's the biggest problem, because if you can buy a house within reasonable proximity of your monthly payment of renting a house, then you have a healthy first-time buyer market, whatever that is. And there are a number of other forces that dictate this, but I find this always the easiest to watch. If you're renting a house for, say, $4,000 a month, which is pretty average in the Santa Clara Valley these days, $3,500, say, you should be able to buy a house FHA, putting 3.5% down. You should be able to buy a house that will wind up with a mortgage payment, including in taxes, insurance, and all the impounds. That should be roughly the same, maybe a little higher. Maybe you're renting for $3,500 a month, but you buy a house and it costs you $4,000 a month. I've been doing this in this valley for 35 years now. I've been at it for a long, long time. It's the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. And I'm telling you, as long as you have a healthy first-time buyer market, suburbia blossoms, because that fuels everything else. The first-time buyer buys a little house or buys a little condo, and that person sells their property. They buy the next house in the chain, and onward and upward we go. We call them dominoes in the business, where one connects to another, because one falls and the other goes. But we really haven't had much of that market in quite some time, and that is a major, major problem. You can't alienate one entire piece of the market. I mean, if you're a first-time buyer in this town right now, and you're paying $3,500 a month in rent, and you go buy a house for $850,000, even with 3.5% down, your mortgage payment's going to be, including impounds and everything, it's going to be about $6,400 a month. So you're going to go from $3,500 a month in rent to $6,400, and you're an owner. That's almost double. That's the problem. We can't have stuff like that. We've got to get the interest rate back down, and that is the key to everything. What I've been telling you guys now for, a couple of years is that for us to get back to any kind of normalcy, pre-pandemic, the real estate market, which was healthy and good, and everybody's participating, and everybody's growing, it was a nice, healthy pace, is we need to get that interest rate back down to 5.5%. Getting under 6 is important, because there's a psychological thing that happens with people when we're under 6, it spurs some buying. When it got under 6 in February, we saw refi start to build again. We saw a lot of buyers come out of the market. It was starting to get better. It wasn't great, but it was starting to get better. And then the war in Iran happened. Anyway, some more numbers. LA County recorded just 3,072 home sales in March. That is the lowest monthly total in the last 3 years, as the national gap widened to a record 630,000 more sellers on average than buyers in any given area. That's the largest gap on record dating back to 2013. So what that tells you is you get a lot more inventory returning to the market. That's been the story for the last 2 years. Every month that has gone by for the last 24 months, we've had a slightly more inventory on average to the market than was there the month before. In other words, more houses are coming on the market than are getting sold. That's just where we're at, and that's okay. I mean, that's a good thing. We're still at lows by comparisons, but we're not nearly as low as we were during the pandemic as far as inventory. So buyers have more choice now. So here's what you have. You have basically the old war of supply and demand. If supply increases, which it is in the residential housing market, and demand decreases, which it is because of high interest rates, you get a sour market. You get a market that cannot be sustained. So the market reacts and prices go down. And that's what's been happening. Prices are going down. Houses are taking longer to sell and prices are going down. I've been saying this for the last 3 years. If you have a house to sell, it needs to be a deal. If your house isn't a deal, you got yourself a problem. And maybe it's a deal because of price. That's what obviously it is most of the time. But maybe you're the only one in the area who's for sale. I doubt it these days because there's so many houses on the market. But you got to have something, because if you're just the same as everybody else and you're priced the same as the last one who closed, you're going to have a hard time selling. It's going to take a while. Now, maybe you have time, and that's fine. You can take your time and do it. But if you're going to get it sold in any kind of a reasonable time frame, 30, 60, 90 days, you better be priced aggressively or it's just not going to happen. This is the mortgage rates I was talking about. Mortgage rates fell from 7% last spring to 6.5% last fall until they finally dipped below 6% in February, which was great. Now they're back up to an average of 6.35% as of today. And that increase to back up over 6% is 100% completely the fault of the Iran war. It's because when we go to war without rallying the troops, when we go to war without rallying the public, when we go to war without rallying our allies, they don't know why we're there. I don't know why we're there. If somebody can tell me, I'd appreciate it, because I don't know. Every day it's a different story. They have a nuclear missile. They were going to, there were no danger of lobbing a nuclear missile at Chicago. But this is, the popular mythos, and it's not true. And we all know it's not true. I'm not crying any tears about the Iranian regime being hobbled or being destroyed, but if you're going to do it, you got to tell us why, how, et cetera. I'm not saying you give away military secrets. You could let us in on what's going on if you want us to support you. And none of that's gone on. And also, how did you not know about the Strait of Hormuz? The Strait of Hormuz has been a trading port since the Bronze Age. That's roughly 1,000 years before Christ. So 3,000 years ago, when it wasn't Iran, when it was Persia, if you got into a war with your neighbors, the first thing you did is close the Strait of Hormuz, because it was a huge trading port. You've got India right there. You've got Eastern European countries north of there. So there's a lot of trading that goes through that particular port. Or those ports, I should say, plural. That's strait. So we've known since the Bronze Age that anyone who has control over it can close it. Yet we didn't realize that this go round. I find that hard to believe, but doesn't seem like we planned for it. And the disruption that has caused, 20% of the world's oil comes out of the Gulf of Hormuz. And it's all well and good to say that the United States is self-supporting, and we are importing a lot less oil now than we ever have before. We are a net exporter, which is all great stuff, but it doesn't mean that the oil coming out of, a West Texas field is going to run up in your gas tank. It's a global market. It gets shift around. It just does. That's why we have 4 of the largest gasoline refineries in the world in California, and yet our gas is still more expensive than people in Idaho. I don't understand that. We're close to where it gets manufactured. And the answer as to why it's more expensive is because it can be. There are also a lot of taxes and a lot of other things get levied in tax in California, gas. But anyway, the bottom line with this is when energy goes up, and the other things that are attached that go through that port, like fertilizer and things like that, everything goes up. When energy becomes more expensive, every other single thing in the economy becomes more expensive. When things become more expensive, we call that inflation. The best tool we have to fight inflation in this country is the Fed raising interest rates. The Fed makes money more expensive when their inflation sets in. The whole idea of spiking the interest rate from, I think it was 4.5%, 5.5% to 7%, to over 7%, a couple of years ago, was because of inflation, because the Fed was fighting off inflation. I don't think they did it the right way. I think the Fed had held interest rates way too low, way too long during the pandemic, and the inevitable response to the inflation that created was to spike the interest rate to over 7% and kill the real estate market. And I get that, but we were finally starting to get over it. It was finally starting to thaw out. Things were finally starting to get better. And then we decided to start lobbing missiles for no apparent reason into Iran because, I don't know, Trump needed to feel like he won a war. I don't know. I have no idea why he did it. It just seems like a whole lot of bad ideas that coalesced in one bad action. And here we are. And I still have no idea what we got out of it, if we're getting anything out of it. Although I did hear this morning that the strait was reopening. I got that announcement on my way into the studio. So that's great. I hope that remains the case. I hope cooler heads prevail because, again, I don't really cry any tears about the loss of the Iranian regime, or parts of it anyway. I'm worried about what's going to lead to because we decapitated them, but we didn't finish them, and that's going to lead to some problems, I'm sure. But what I'm worried about right now is I drive a goofy little minivan. I drive a 2015 Toyota Sienna minivan with a glorious 100,000 miles on it. I've got a lot of cars, but it's one of my favorites because it's the one I drive every day because I don't care where I park it. Mechanically, it's in fine shape, and it just sips gas like a teetotaler. It's fabulous. Also, it's a gray minivan, so you misbehave in a gray minivan, you cut somebody off or you go too fast on the freeway or something like that, by accident, of course, nobody seems to mind because it's a gray minivan. They just sort of wave you by, which is not true in my other cars. But to fill that car up, usually costs me about $75 to fill it up with the lowest grade gas that I can get, right? What is it, 85 octane, I think? But now to fill that same car up, also with the lowest grade gas, I just filled it up this morning, $102. That's $30 the Trump administration owes me and all of the rest of us, I think, because the gas prices went up because of this nonsense, this adventure in Iran. And I still have no idea why we did it. You don't got to tell me, but you got to tell all of us something. Otherwise, we're not going to react well to this. And the markets don't react well. So that's kind of where we're at. And that's what's going on with real estate. The problem that we've got on right now is that prices are going down. They just are. I was projecting about a 4% loss for our area over the next 12 months from January to December of 2026. I'm telling you now it's going to be at least 5 or 6%. It's caused an energy shock. It's caused a disruption. It's caused inflation to go up. That means interest rates are not coming down this year as much as we would like if they come down at all. If we get down below 6%, that would be fantastic. I was hoping we'd get down to 5.75% before the end of the year, but I don't know that's going to happen now. I was saying that interest rates are going to be slowly going down over the course of 2026. And had this energy disruption not happened, I would have stood by that. But now, I don't know. I don't know. I did not think the interest rate was going to spike back up to over 6.5 and then now settle down at 6.35. I hope that it keeps going down. It needs to keep coming down, but there are world events that impinge on this. And that's why I'm making this point. When you watch the news and you see a fight going on in Iran, don't think it doesn't affect you. It absolutely does. It affects your heating costs. It affects your cost for food. It affects your cost certainly for driving. It affects your cost for everything. And it damages the real estate market because it keeps the interest rate high because the interest rate has to fight inflation. Anyway, in February, the median LA home sale spent 80 days on the market, the longest median in the last 5 years, according to Redfin. In addition, 17.6% of home listings had price cuts. That's up 1.4 percentage points year over year. Last year, we were losing money on houses. Last year, we were cutting prices to get them sold. This year, it's even more. So that's a trend that I have a feeling we're going to look at all year. I don't think it's going to be catastrophic. I don't think the bottom's going to drop out of the market. I don't think it's going to be 2008, 9, and 10 or anything crazy like that. It's not going to be those days. But it's going to be hard sledding. It just is. If you got a house to sell, you best do it now because it's going to be worth less money a year from now than it is now. Hopefully you did it last year when it was worth more than it is now. But yeah, we lost about 4% on average last year. I was predicting something like that for this year, but now I'm saying it's going to be 5, could be 6, could be as much as 10 if this keeps up. But I figure now we're going to lose between 5 and 6% on our house's value. So if you have a house worth $1 million right now, you can figure it's going to be $950, $940 by the end of the year. That's just kind of where we're at. Anyway, sub-6 rates would be the quickest way to bring cautious buyers back into the market, so sellers are hoping the ceasefire will stabilize rates. Until then, for buyers, the ever-shifting market rate means with even more leverage, it still doesn't feel like a buyer's market. Yeah, buyers got more leverage now than they've ever had before because there are fewer of them out there. There are more houses on the market and there are more buyers out there, and the buyers out there are being stingier. And demand has still been depressed because the amount of buyers out there is still not meeting the demand of the amount of houses out there. So, yeah, we got increasing supply, we got shrinking demand. That recipe only means one thing: housing prices are coming down. If you're a buyer, start thinking about it. Now's a good time to do that. If you're a seller, either be prepared to act fast or be prepared to sit tight for a very long time. If you do not have to sell this year, I would not do it if I were you. Unless you're reselling for a reason, you're doing something different, you want to take advantage of a move up because the house you're going to buy is also going to be cheaper this year. So there's a lot that goes into that decision. Anyway, if you have any questions about that sort of thing or anything else, you can always give me a call. If you feel I'm wrong, please tell me. I'd love to hear it. You can give me a call at 661-714-1400. That's my cell phone, 661-714-1400. I can be reached at 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. If I don't answer, please text me. I would appreciate it, and I will get back to you, I promise. And I give out advice on real estate for free all the time. And if you have a problem, if you're looking at a foreclosure, or if you have some other problem with probate or something else, give me a call. I'll get you pointed in the right direction. I have a lot of attorneys I can refer you to. We have a whole network that we've built up over the years. And most of the problems that you've got, I've probably seen and probably fixed something similar, if not the exact same thing before. So whatever your real estate problems are, bring them to me. That's why I do the show. That's how I run my practice. I have for the better part of 35 years. I fix people's problems, and I do it largely for free whenever I possibly can. And we do foreclosure defense for free. So if you're in foreclosure, if you're having trouble making your mortgage payment, if you think you're going to wind up in foreclosure because you're in trouble making your mortgage payment, give me a call. You may be able to modify that loan and lower the payment. Bankruptcies are a good way out. There's all kinds of things you can do to save a house, but you've got to be proactive about it. You can't wait. Problems with losing a house, problems with not making mortgage payments don't get better by themselves. You have to get after it, and you have to get it solved yourself. And I'm a good guy to call to help you with that because I know what I'm doing. 661-714-1400. And again, it's Rich Szerman with Radius Agent, and I'll be more than happy to fix your problems. I'll answer your questions anytime you'd like. So that's it for the informational portion of the anniversary show. From this point forward, it's all cookies. It'll be all cookies all the time from this point forward, so it'll be a whole lot more fun. So I tell you what, let's go to break. If you guys be kind enough to listen through the commercials when we come back, Devan Ward will be with us, and we'll be talking nothing but cookies. Hey everybody, thank you for listening through the break. You're listening to The Real Estate Fix. I'm your host, Rich Szerman, on KHTS, AM 1220, F98.1, your hometown station. And thank you guys for tuning in. First part of the show today, today's my anniversary show. It's also my birthday tomorrow. No, next day, Saturday. Sunday? So it's my birthday show and anniversary show, so we're having some fun today. First part of the show is all about the Iran war and how it's affecting interest rates negatively and how it's damaging the housing market. And I think we've had enough of that. And at least one show a year, I like to just do something that's not necessarily real estate related. So we're kind of making this a tradition around here. I think we're going to do this yearly. I hope we're able to do this yearly. But I brought my friend Devan Ward in from DW Cookies because, as I promised, the rest of the show is going to be nothing but cookies. It's going to be no real estate, just cookies from this point forward. So, Devan, thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. It's very nice of you to join me. I appreciate it. Thank you for the fabulous cookies. Those of you guys who know me at all, if you've known me, you've probably gotten a box of Devan's cookies at some point because I use them as sort of so I might get out of jail free card. I use them as almost currency. In my house, I can get my daughter to clean her room if I offer her a cookie or I deny her a cookie if she doesn't clean her room. It is amazing what you can do with these cookies because they are, in my opinion, I've said this publicly many times, the best cookies in the world. Wow. They are. I think they are the greatest. I give them right around the station. I don't see any other cookies making their way in here. Right. Okay. So this morning I was handing them out. I got here a little late and I was handing out cookies and a couple people said, "Oh, I already had a donut." Well, I can't affect that. I can't help you with that. The smart ones are the ones who took this cookie to go with the donut and had hang out because you can't pass a free cookie from Devan. You got to be kidding me. So anyways, let me do a proper introduction here. So DW Cookies, home-style cookies and fresh ice cream, all handcrafted in-house. It's a family business that you can taste the love and dedication to everything you guys make. You are certainly passionate about cookies. I say that all the time. I think you find anybody who's doing anything, if they're passionate about what they do, you're going to find they're just a little bit better at it. And in your case, that definitely applies. And I had a much longer introduction I wrote for you, but I found something that was even better. There's a website out there called Restaurant G. I think that's what it's called. Anyway, it's a review site, and they wrote a write-up of you. I don't know if you've read this. Okay, it's a pretty popular site. It comes up on the first page, and you look for them. This was their review of DW Cookies. The DW Cookie Company is a charming bakery that offers a delightful selection of homemade cookies. This old-timey establishment serves up treats like chocolate chip cookie ice cream sandwiches, white chocolate cranberry cookies, a personal favorite, snickerdoodles, and of course the classic chocolate chip. Customers praise the exceptional quality of the ingredients and the time taken to craft these delicious creations are often compared to cookies one might enjoy at a grandparent's home. The bakery boasts a friendly and welcoming atmosphere with attentive staff. Oh, attentive. Sorry, that was attentive. Sorry. I didn't make you feel bad.
My wife.
Well, I think you're pretty good looking, but okay, sorry about that. Scratch that. Attentive staff. Eager to help customers, maybe we should just leave it as attractive. Attentive staff, eager to help customers find their new favorite flavor. Whether you're in the mood for a classic cookie or something more unique, the DW Cookie Company is a must-visit destination for cookie lovers. I would second all of that. I'd even say attractive and attentive, if that makes you happy.
Take it.
So, now there is something I do want to talk to you about. Because I think this is interesting. It should be kind of part of your introduction. Last year, as you know, I went on about the Yelp reviews. Yes. Because I find it astonishing that you have the amount of Yelp reviews you have in the time that you had, and it was perfect five-star rating.
Almost.
You're one of the only. Yeah, well, now it's almost. But do you know why it's almost? Have you looked at it? Oh, like this. Okay, so I hate to be the one to tell you, but you're down to 4.9 as your average over 485 Yelp reviews. Still better than any other cookie company I could find in California, by the way. So that's statewide. So I think you're still in great stead. Okay. But here's the review that pushed you from 5 to 4.9. And I don't usually use people's names, but this is all on Yelp. You can go read it yourself. They put their names up there. Aaron Y. of Santa Clarita. This was his 1-star review. Okay, this is the review that hurt you. This is it. Okay, I'm going to just read the review. Hands down, the greatest cookies anywhere. How does that translate into a 1-star review? Okay. Aaron, we got issues. We got to sort this out, man, because I think you meant to hit a different star number. But the low review is because, honestly, we can't get enough of their cookies, and they're never open. So apparently, your schedule, which, by the way, I've never had anybody else complain about. Every time I turn around, it seems like you're in the shop. Yeah. I think you got a cot in the back sometime.
Really?
But apparently your schedule did not line up well enough for Aaron. So while he thinks the cookies are, and I quote, hands down the greatest cookies anywhere, which I would second that, he still gives you a 1-star review.
I haven't seen that one. That's funny.
Aaron, man, what is your problem? What does somebody have to do for you? My goodness. What happens when you see a rainbow? Just roll your eyes and go, yeah, so,
right.
Nature. Let me give you Terry P's another Yelp review, which is kind of in the same vein, but this one's 5 stars.
Okay.
Do you love cookies? Look no further. This is the place. So far, I'm with Terry P. The family-run cookie shop is so good. Their concoctions are awesome. They bake their cookies and everything else in-house, and when they are sold out, that's it. They're sold out. So make sure you come early and get the ones you want, even though any of them are good.
Take that.
I think Terry's got a much more solid operation going on here than Aaron. Let me give you another fun one. This is from April. Actually, this is from just a week ago. Renee W. Recently picked up cookies for dessert for a private jet flight. Nice to know your cookies go airborne. And they were a huge hit. The principal couldn't stop raving about them and even asked where they came from. Thank you, DW Cookie Company, for being absolutely top-notch, truly great establishment. I wish, it was a celebrity or something. I wish I knew who that was. We'll just make it up. We'll say it was, I don't know, who do you like? Stevie Wonder? Stevie Wonder's playing. So we'll say Stevie Wonder Electric Cookies. Anyway, here's another one. Walked in to check it out as I like to buy goodies for client visits. I met Devan, who was super friendly, and we chatted about his products. He offered me a sample, and I asked for his recommendation. He gave me a walnut chocolate chip cookie, and I was totally impressed. That's Michael D., and he also gave me a 5-star review. So it's 5-star review after 5-star review after this one guy. This one guy who thinks the cookies, which, as far as I know, that's what you sell there. He thinks the cookies, ice cream too. Yeah. He thinks the cookies were spectacular. Hands down the greatest cookies anywhere. I don't know. I don't know how you square that circle.
I just think that people think, they don't realize they can't be in there every day and you kind of need to sleep and rest. And
and you have children and a wife, and it's fun to visit them sometimes.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So you need a little time off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
Well, I don't think that's unreasonable. Plus, there have been times, I don't expect you to deliver cookies to me at midnight. If I send in an order at midnight, I'll pick them up when you're open. That's fair. I don't think it's not fair.
Yeah.
No, I don't see anywhere you offer 24-hour delivery. No. I can't imagine what that would cost.
That would be pretty, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be something.
I'm going to duplicate myself.
Yeah. We need me on a college campus or something like that.
Right.
My college days, I'm eating cookies at 2 in the morning. Now, not so much. Yeah. Well,
another cookie company does that. Hangs around college campuses and they do that kind of delivery thing where they just pumping out cookies all the time.
Yeah, but there's also a certain. I mean, you tell me if I'm wrong, but do you think you can really do that and still maintain your quality?
That's the thing. You're right. Yeah.
I mean, I'll come in when the store is open. I'll come in when you're open for business and get cookies and keep the quality there. That's the magic that makes it work. That's the magic that makes it work. So okay, so I've got, as you know, whenever we do this, as we did last year, I reach out to people and ask them to give me questions. Okay. And so I got some questions for you, and a lot of these have kind of been over before, so we can go through some of these. If anybody wants to watch the YouTube video from last year, it's a lot of this will be a little bit duplicative, but I got some new stuff. Okay. So let's start here. So we always start with this. How long have you been in business? Which is what, 13 years now?
This year, 13 years.
Like the way I both ask and answer the question. I'm moving this along nicely, aren't I? Okay. And I love it when you tell this story. I've heard you tell the story a bunch of times, and I never get tired of it.
Excuse me.
Why did you open a cookie shop, an ice cream shop? What inspired you to open the cookie and ice cream shop? It's my favorite question for you.
Was kind of tired of the whole corporate world and wanted to spread my baking happiness out there in the real world. So yeah. What
were you doing before you got the cookie shop?
Phone company.
So you worked for the phone company.
Yes.
And what, you started bringing in cookies for people at the phone company?
Yeah, started that, and they started wanting to have them all the time there, and it became a kind of a side thing. And from there, I just took the leap and ended up in a.
So you're making a little bit of money doing it, and then you got enough money and thought, I think I can make a business out of this. Mm-hmm. Well, they are fantastic cookies. I can totally see that. We talked about this last time too. Why did you use the name DW Cookie?
My initials.
And
I got me. My grandma. She was very important in the whole thing. She basically taught me how to do what I do. Unfortunately, lost her last year.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Great inspiration, though. But yeah, and then my kids, they became DWs as well. So a lot of DW, but hopefully one of them will take over. We'll see. But yes, the family.
You got DW coming and going. Yeah, yes. I love that your grandmother taught you how to cook.
Yes, cook, bake, all that stuff. Learned it from her.
So a lot of this stuff is sort of your grandmother's recipe, sort of, but what you've added to it, which is probably why they taste the way they do. Why so many people make like this is my grandmother used to make.
She taught me to bake and cook with flavor, and that's what I do.
God bless the grandmas out there, boys.
Yes.
Okay, I hope this is. What is the hardest part of running your own bakery? Because you're running in there
just being in there all the time. I mean, it's just day in, day out. Dunkin' Donuts had this thing where the donut guy, time to bake the donuts. You get up at like 3 o'clock in the morning, just in there baking donuts. So yeah, it's time to bake the cookies.
Yeah.
All day during the week, just in there baking in and out.
Yeah. Well, you got to have a love for it if you're going to do it all the time.
It's not bad.
You can taste. I mean, you can taste how much you guys are into
I like it.
So, what's the most rewarding part about owning a cookie company?
Still making customers smile, definitely.
Yeah,
sharing with the community. You get your get out of jail free cards out of it. So
yeah. What Devan was just before he came on the air. I'll tell the story. Just before he came on the air, we were in the reception area, and one of the staff here was asking a question about cookies. I bring in cookies all the time, and he wanted me, and kind of a little local celebrity here around the station. Anyone who makes cookies that good, you should be a local celebrity. I get that. So anyway, the story goes something like this, and this is a true story. This is from about 8-9 months ago. I had a box of your cookies in the car, and I made a little bit of an accident out in front of not a traffic accident. I just wasn't paying attention when I was driving. It was my fault, and I accidentally cut off a sheriff's car. So in traffic, I cut off a sheriff's deputy, which is not the smartest thing to do. Obviously, cutting off anybody's a bad idea, but cutting off a sheriff's deputy is particularly stupid, and usually very expensive. And sure, he hit the lights, which is fair. I mean, I made a traffic mistake and almost caused an accident, so it's fair. And he came walking up to the side of the car, and he asked for my license and registration. I offered it to him, and I said, "Do you mind if can I open this box over here?" And he said, "What's in the box?" I said, "Cookies. I was going to offer you a cookie." And I said, I opened the box slowly. I opened the box. I'm going to get shot over this, but I opened the box, and he said, "Would you like a cookie?" And he looked at me kind of strangely, and I said, "This is my friend." I went into a whole thing about how great your cookies are and how they're the greatest cookies in the world, and I was so excited about it. I guess he figured I must be crazy. So I thought I was going to get arrested behind this. But anyway, he had one of the cookies, and then he said, with still crumbs in his mouth, "I'm going to let you off with a warning." Now, I like to think he was going to do that anyway, and he just got a cookie. But yeah, apparently your cookies can get you out of traffic. If you're listening to this at the sheriff's department, please don't get me in trouble over this. And the deputy remained nameless. But and he was, by the way, perfectly. I should have gotten a ticket out of this. What I did was wrong. It was my mistake in traffic. But yeah, I got out of it because I gave up a chocolate chip cookie.
We got great people out here.
Yeah, that's true. Although I got to say at one point, because when I gave him the cookie, I went, "Well, I got one cookie less."
Oh.
So I think it was worth it. I think the trade-off was okay.
Right.
But still, well, every time I have a client who's mad at me, or somebody else in town who's mad at me, I show up with a box of cookies. That, by the way, is not carte blanche for other people I work with. They act like they're mad at me to get cookies. You can just ask. And it gets me out of trouble. It really does. People can't be mad at you with a mouthful of your cookies. You just can't. It's fantastic.
Great
Oh,
gifts.
God, do they ever. Oh, do they ever. And they make you awfully popular, too. Although I always blow it and tell them where the store is. I should just keep it to myself, and that way I'm the connect for that. But
You
I think
got
it's
to
better
work
having
anyway.
Yeah, I'll be at it. Okay. Okay, so yeah, that was a good question. I got this from one of my staff. Actually, as a matter of fact, I just hired a friend of yours. You just recommended to me as a staff member. So hi, Lydia, if you're listening. Nice to have you on board.
Hi, Lydia.
Yeah, hello. Shout out to Lydia. Okay, let's see. What have you done to adjust to the current economic situation? Anything's been tough with the tariffs and everything else. They've raised costs.
I think that's one of the things that helped me through this year is I actually haven't raised prices.
Yeah, I noticed.
Yeah, it's like, I figure with everybody struggling, when things were going up, these people are like, it's kind of getting expensive in here, and they start coming less. It's like, you know what? I'm all right. Family's good. I'm not dying in here. Let's just keep where it's at. Yeah. And we kept it where it's at, and customers kept coming in.
That is very you. I could raise prices, but we'll just keep it here. It's better for everybody else. It's better for the customer if we leave them where they're at. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is very you. Again, why I love you guys and your family, and why I love your shop. I just do. I just think it's the best. You guys, if you've never been there, check it out. It's a cool store. You guys have video games and all kinds of stuff going on in the store now. It's this cute little old timey store. I think it's a good way to describe it. It's very nice. It's beautiful. It always smells like cookies, which is great. And if you guys are listening, the shop is at 18962 Soledad Canyon Road. Again, 18962 Soledad Canyon Road. It's right behind. It's the same shopping center with Carl's Jr. and Bob's Country Meats. It's on the south side, and you're kind of in the back there. And yeah, that shopping center has become much nicer in the last couple of years because for a while there was I'm not sure you have a bakery next to a bake shop, but all right, and an industrial cleaning supply on the other side, but all right, cookies are good. We thought for a while maybe some of the cleaning supplies we just didn't know about it, and that's why the cookies were so good.
He was a good guy.
Yeah,
good people, good neighbors.
I just thought I'd have a bakery next to a cleaning supply and a bake shop, especially one of the best bakers in the world right there. But yeah, it adds to the legend. I think it's fantastic. Well, here's a fun one. If you could turn any food into a cookie, what would it be? Remember what you said last year. Let's see what it's saying.
Food into a cookie. Ooh, any food into a cookie. That's a hard one, actually.
Well, if it helps out, last year you said hamburger.
Yeah,
No, I got a friend of mine, because we've been talking about that ever since. A friend of
I
mine
tried it.
for Christmas got me this thing out of Japan that are these little hamburger cookie things.
I've
They're
seen
awful.
those. Yeah.
They're adorable.
Yeah.
But they taste like sawdust.
I've seen somebody do a grilled cheese ice cream sandwich.
Well, if you get the taste right, it doesn't.
Guess
I don't want to
kinda
put cheese
weird.
in it with ice cream.
Yeah. I really don't.
Sushi.
I mean, sushi. I love sushi. Sushi is a cookie, though. It's like,
It's a little
it's kind of weird. Yeah, you need that sushi texture. You can't really get that with a cookie. That's kind of weird.
Okay, well, yeah, that's fair enough. I guess we'll leave the cookies at cookies then. Okay, this is okay. I'm asking this for a friend.
Okay.
Is there a flavor of ice cream you'd like to? Well, I already did that. Is there a flavor of ice cream you'd like to see in a cookie? And then she has a follow up.
Ice cream, I'd like to see it as a cookie.
You like Ben and Jerry's with those crossovers, those weird things, fudgy things?
I like Moose Tracks myself. Love Moose Tracks.
Oh, sure.
So good.
Yeah.
I mean, that as a cookie, yeah, I kind of have that already, though. I have a dark chocolate peanut butter caramel.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
That's pretty good.
I've had all of your cookies. I never related it with Moose Tracks.
Yeah.
Oh, I've had it. I've absolutely had it.
Moose Tracks is great.
But it's hard to tell. All the cookies are good.
Butter pecan.
Oh.
I could do that as a cookie.
Ooh.
I could do that as a cookie.
Ooh,
That's an
okay.
easy one,
Take
too.
up
Classic.
that challenge.
Yeah.
Okay, she had two more questions. Have you ever considered making stuffed cookies?
Stuffed cookies.
Like where there's like fudge or something in it, or
No, we've tried it. We've done the Dubai thing. And I mean, people like the classics.
yeah.
I think the sandwich cookie is a little better. Like, just take some good buttercream frosting and just put some cookies on. Squish them between two cookies. That's pretty good.
I'll order some more off air.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Jane actually asked that. Her other thing that she thought was a great idea. We talked about this last night and this morning, because this is the level of dialogue in my house these days, with our daughter gone and with you coming on the show. She thinks that you should start a food truck, like an ice cream truck, but for cookies. Because what she wants is for you to drive up to our house in our cul-de-sac with playing a little tune, and then she'll go, Devar's here,
That's funny.
and then go running outside like she's 7 to buy cookies. And I got to tell you, I thought about it. I don't know if it's worth it for you. Sounds fantastic to me.
I actually have a friend that has a soft serve truck, and he wants my cookies on there.
Devar,
So
how are we not doing this?
Hey,
Let's find. We're off air. Tell me who your friend is. Let's get a route. We'll tell people. We'll get on air. We'll tell people. This is where the truck is going to be today.
See, now, okay, I gotta propose
Yeah,
that.
that sounds fantastic.
That'd be kind of easy. Yeah.
I live on Spring Street Place. It's right next to the elementary school, right up from the
first
park
route,
in Valencia. Yeah, you can start there. It doesn't at 8 a.m. We'll be out. We'll be ready. I'll get my neighbors. We'll rally. It'll be great.
That'd be cool.
You're gonna run a truck and you're gonna sell cookies off the. I'm totally in.
There we go.
How about the farmers market? Have you ever gone? I mean, it's a lot. You work 24/7, so I don't really get more time.
I mean,
you got to get up, before dawn to do that. But you're already up anyway. I guess.
Yeah, I think the thing there with me is the summer times would be just brutal.
Yeah.
The heat.
We don't have to do it all year long.
No. But then the falls are the busiest, so it's like at the shop. It's like, yeah,
you got to find a way
busy.
we got to find a way to duplicate you and still keep the quality
That's
where it needs
the thing,
to be.
right?
And that's a hell of a challenge.
I've tried it. I mean, I've told this, Sarah. I've tried to do it. I've taught people how to do the cookies, but it's like people come in, oh, you didn't bake the cookies yesterday, did you? And it's like,
yeah. Well, there's you and there's not you. That's kind of the way it is, unfortunately. So, so let me also give you a phone number. DW Cookies, 661-505-0781, 661-505-0781. And again, you're located at 18962 Soledad Canyon Road.
Yes, sir.
And I tell you what, before I've got some questions for you. And what we're going to do is I'll tell you what they are just before we go to break. Okay. I like questions there are 2 television shows I used to watch a lot of, still watch a lot of. One is Inside the Actors Studio. And the other is, which is now off the air, it's been off for a while. And the other is the Colbert Show, which is now going off shortly. And there's a series of questions that they ask at the end of the interview for both of those shows. And I've sort of put them together because I don't think we need to discuss, your relationship with God. That's not what we're here for. We're here for cookies. Here for cookies. So we're staying to the lighter ones. But it's not meant to be that revealing. Okay. But when we come back, you guys, please listen through the break. When we come back, we're going to ask Devar a couple of questions from the Colbert questionnaire and a couple of questions from the Inside the Actors Studio thing, and we'll see how he does. So listen through the break. When we come back, we'll get through questions. Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening. You've reached the Real Estate Fix on KHTS 98.1 FM, AM 1220, your hometown station. I'm your host, Rich Szerman. And thank you guys for tuning in. We're in the last part of the show here today. We've been visiting with my good friend Devar from DW Cookies, the best cookies in the world, certainly the best cookies in the Valley. And again, nothing against the other cookie franchises we have in town. We are spoiled with good cookie franchises. However, even amongst all your rest, for me, yours is still the best. For my money, yours is still the best, and I've got a lot of people who would agree with me on that. And again, nothing against the other ones. A good cookie is a good cookie, but a great cookie, a fantastic cookie, that's different. That's special. So anyway, before we went to break, we were just talking about there are two shows that I like. One is called Inside the Actors Studio, and of course Stephen Colbert's Late Show I love. And they do these things on both of those shows where they have this set of questions, and the idea is to get you to reveal your true self through these questions. And I don't think we need you to reveal your true self. We're just talking cookies. You don't need to go that deep. But I thought some of these questions are pretty funny, and they're pretty good. So I cribbed these between these two shows. So jumping back and forth. So let's start with my favorite question. Right. What is the best sandwich? And by the way, there are right and wrong answers to these. Most people say there aren't. They're wrong. There's a right and wrong answer. What is the best sandwich?
I'm going to say turkey and Swiss.
The correct answer is ice cream, but turkey and Swiss is pretty good.
I like turkey. Well, yeah,
turkey and Swiss is good. I'll go with that. Correct, yeah. Okay, but here's so you missed the sandwich question because the answer is supposed to be ice cream. Here's your chance to redeem yourself. Is a hot dog a sandwich or not? Is a hot dog a sandwich?
No.
Jen, you want to weigh in on this? Hot dog a sandwich?
Everybody says it's a sandwich, but it's not.
I'm gonna go with yes, just because it's got
red meat,
and yeah. It's got something in the center of it.
Well, as this is my show and I brought in the questions, Jen is correct, and unfortunately you were wrong again.
I don't know about that.
I think a hot dog is a sandwich. You know why? Because I can take a hot dog and put it between two pieces of bread, it's still a hot dog. Yeah. If I have it in a hot dog bun, it's just a special type of sandwich. Still a hot dog sandwich.
Okay.
You like that?
Nobody calls it a hot dog sandwich, though.
Well, I do. I'm wrong about most things, though. That's fair. Yeah, you shouldn't. I'm not the norm. That's totally reasonable. That's completely reasonable. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. What is the scariest animal?
Ooh, lion.
Okay, I'd have gone with man.
Man,
but still a good call. Lion's good. Lion's
good.
Okay, what is your favorite word?
Favorite word? Cookie.
Oh, there you go. Fantastic. My second favorite, by the way. Jane's my favorite. It's my wife's name. So I'm just doing that because it's my birthday and I'm sucking up. Expecting good things for my birthday. Anyway, what is your least favorite word?
Least favorite. That's a hard one.
If it helps, I hate the word moist.
Moist. Cookies can be moist, though.
Yeah, well, moist. If you have moist cookie, that's fine. You want to modify it with something I'm in.
People don't like the word moist, though, because it just sounds...
Yeah, it sounds icky.
Sounds
like I got to clean something up.
Moist.
Sounds like I'm cleaning up something unpleasant.
Yeah, it would be like ick, dirty. Something that just makes you feel... Yeah.
So you're going to join me on moist then?
Okay,
we'll go with that. Okay. If you were going to do something different, which I find you're so passionate about what you do, I think it'd be strange. What other profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
When I was young, as a kid, I wanted to be a train conductor, train engineer.
Ooh, that's a good one. You got a little train in the shop that goes around the ceiling. That's pretty nice. Maybe that's where that comes from.
Right? Yes.
I get that. Okay, apples or oranges?
Oranges.
See, I'm with you on oranges. But on the Colbert Show, they say it has to be apples because you can't spread chocolate on an orange. I think you're wrong. You can absolutely spread chocolate. See, you can always spread chocolate on an orange.
Oranges.
No offense to the Colbert people, but I think you can put chocolate on an orange. It's fantastic.
Yeah, definitely.
That's fantastic. Okay, I've got one other one. This is the deep one. Ready? Okay, you get one song to listen to for the rest of your life. Now you don't have to listen to it all time, constantly, wall to wall, drive you crazy. But when you go to listen to music, this is the song you listen to. What would be yours? Go top two if you want. Top three.
I'd say Point Siena.
Point Siena?
Yeah.
No, I'm pretty good music. Hello. What's
I can't remember the guy. It's like a jazz thing, but it's a good song. I can't remember the artist though.
Oh, Point Siena.
Point Siena.
Oh, I'm gonna look that up too.
Yes, you have to.
That's your friend. I'm looking that up.
The live version. I mean, it's live, but you don't think it's live, but it's amazing.
You have answered the question. I think we know you better now.
Okay.
I feel like I know you. I feel we're closer now.
Close is good.
Okay. I don't know if that's a good thing. Okay. Let's move into cookie trivia. We've answered the questions. You've done well. Thank you. Although, except for the hot dog being a sandwich thing, you were wrong about that. I feel bad for you about that. But that's okay. But you rallied with apples and oranges on me. That was pretty good. So, okay. So I got cookie trivia. Let's see how we do with this. Where did the oatmeal raisin cookie originate? Now, before you answer, I want you to keep in mind my point of view here. And I got this right off the bat. For two reasons. One, an oatmeal raisin cookie is not a cookie. It is what horses eat with dried fruit. That is what an oatmeal raisin cookie is. It is what horses eat with dried fruit. You're gonna pass up a chocolate chip cookie for an oatmeal raisin?
A horse would.
That's wrong. Yeah. That's just wrong. I'm sorry, that's wrong. So, but you know where it originated? What people on this planet would call oatmeal raisin a dessert?
Old people.
Well, yes, but old English people, as it
Old
turns out.
English
The United
people.
Kingdom is where that came from. The place of my birth, famous for saying things sound like dessert that are not dessert. Ever have blood pudding? Not a dessert.
Ooh,
Yeah. All kinds of stuff. Or haggis also came from the same island. Oh my
Haggis.
God. The first commercial cookie in the U.S. was commercial cookie in the U.S. was the animal cracker. It was introduced in 1902. You know what they were introduced as? Edible ornaments. You put them on your Christmas tree. That's why to this day
kinda
it has a little string on the box.
Okay.
Because you hung them on your Christmas tree and they ate them at the end of Christmas. You know what the best-selling cookie of the 20th century is?
Oreos.
Oh, good guess. It's the Oreo. Look at you. Well done. I didn't know that.
Oreos. So good.
It was introduced by Nabisco in 1912, and America spends $550 million annually on Oreos alone.
Classic.
$550 million. Did you know 50% of all home-baked cookies are chocolate chip?
Has to be, yeah.
Hands down the winner. You'll like these. Americans eat over 2 billion cookies per year. That's 300 cookies per person. The average American eats 35,000 cookies in a lifetime. It's going to be higher for me.
That's a lot of cookies.
95.2% of U.S. households, when polled, say they like cookies. They don't realize as much as that.
35,000 cookies in a lifetime.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of cookies.
I probably already hit it. I'm only 55, and I think I've already hit it. Anyway, thank you for coming in, man. I really appreciate it. I
Thank
love
you,
it when you're
guys.
here. I really
Love
do.
being
And
here.
we bring cookies with you wherever you go, so that's
Thank
always
you.
good as well. If you guys haven't tried it, try Devar's cookies, DW cookies on Soledad. They are fantastic. If you have any questions for me, or if you want to know how to get to the cookie place, or you missed it, you want to get Devar's phone number, just call me. I have him on speed dial. You can reach me at 661-714-1400. That number again is 661-1400, 714-1400 is my phone number, 661-714-1400. Sorry, I got cookies on the brain. Thank you guys for listening. I thank you for listening to the show. I'm your host, Rich Szerman. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.